Hello, everybody. I know this looks very different and it's just me right now. Let me just make sure that this is Tom. Tom's obviously the one who's like in charge of production. So I just need to make sure that this is all looking good and sounding good. Maybe you guys can let me know. Um, so here's what's happening. Okay, we're looking good. Okay. Hey, everyone. Heather here, half of the couples table. And Tom is tied up in a meeting. So the meeting was supposed to end at 4. But here we are. So I'm sure it's going to wrap up pretty soon. And then once it does, we'll head on over to his studio. So yeah. So you gotta bear with me for a little bit. And the dogs. Yeah, so we're just gonna hang out. I'm just going to check in with the comments, but for today's episode, I'll kind of give you a little preview. So this morning, Tom brought up this thing yesterday that he tweeted about. So if you follow him on Twitter, then maybe you know what this is going to be about. But it was something about how DJI came out with a new gimbal, I believe. And I think Tom went to go and really find a creator that was a female who did a video on this. So the way that, you guys know how this works, the company will send their product in advance to creators to create content about it, kind of give you a first impression unboxing review kind of situation. And it seemed like a lot of the people who got this were dudes, and it really upset Tom. And he told me about it, and I was not that upset. And so we actually disagreed on this, and that's what we're going to talk about. That's the premise for today's show. And I think it's going to be really interesting because, we're both content creators. You guys are obviously fans of digital content since you are here participating, but that's what we're going to be talking about. Until then, I'm just going to check in with the comments. Why don't you guys tell me Coke or Pepsi? I don't know. Coke or Pepsi. Let's see. Is Tom keeping you waiting? We did that already. Hi, everyone. Faith T is here with her BF. What's up? Yeah, we're in Heather's office. So this is my office. I'm recording for my online course right now, which is why I've got this. I just borrowed this from Tom's closet. I don't know what half the stuff in there is, but I definitely know what this is. And I just have it over the Blue Yeti, and it sounds pretty good. So I'm okay with it. Let's see. Twitter's been weird for me all day. I want the new gimbal mainly because I only bought my last one a couple of months ago. You know what? Tom bought me a DJI Osmo, and I just it never integrated with my system. So it just sits up here and collects dust, which I feel bad. But because it was my the mobile version, it was I always had to take my phone off. I wanted to do Instagram stories, and then I had to screw the thing back on, and it just wasn't a seamless thing. There's too much friction. Let's see. Emarita says Pepsi. Wow. It's disappointing. I'm just kidding. That's fine. Dish some dirt on Tom. He'd never reveal himself. That's hard. The first thing that comes to mind is that I think we talked about this actually. He has irrational fear of shower drains. Actually, just any kind of drain in general. It's it's the same fear that I have when I see dark water. Dark water kind of creeps me out. Well, that's not that bad, but I have tryptophobia, so I can't look at beehives and stuff. Ugh, so gross. No hate, but Pepsi. Coke makes my teeth pasty. Coke Zero's where it's at. Colas are not my first choice in soda. Dennis, what's your first choice in soda? I'd love to hear. You know what? I didn't drink soda for so long. And then I moved in with Tom, and he has it was a problem. I was like, you can't drink more than one soda a day. And he's gotten good at sticking to that. But before it was one every meal, which I don't think is good. I shot a short film entirely on a gimbal on Saturday. Wow. Yeah. I don't know. I don't need it for what I for what I do, even though it looks really cool. So, let's see. What else can I tell you guys about? It's Tom and I's 3rd year anniversary this Sunday. I guess our anniversary restarted ever since we got married, but our dating anniversary is on October 18th. So his gift came in today and I tried to intercept it before he got to the door. But he, a new package comes for him like every day. So he came out as I was walking out too, and I tried to like hide the box or whatever. I won't tell you what it is in case he watches this replay, but let's see. 5th can of Diet Coke. Oh my gosh. You guys are like peas in a pod, you and Tom. Dennis, ginger ale. Oh. Yeah, that's good. Very good. Happy dating anniversary. Thanks. What did you get? Yeah, I want to tell you, you'll find out. It's not, okay, I'll tell you this. It's not camera related, which I could never get Tom anything YouTube channel camera related because he gets it before, I can even order it. If it's that crucial to the process, he'll just get it and it'll be in the mail the next day. So yeah. Let's see. This is so funny. I used to do a weekly live stream show on this YouTube channel every single Wednesday. I think it's 6 p.m. And it was like so easy, but because it's been Tom and I feel like it's like I don't know what to do with myself now that it's just me. Let's see. Anti-soda unless beer is not available for Mexican food. Need carbonation. Anti-soda unless beer is not available. Yeah. I feel like drinking beer and eating, I used to do it all the time, but it's like I got so bloated. It's like so much. I don't have the same digestive system that I used to have. To see, what's up? Good to see you. Get Tom that gimbal and review it yourself so his complaint goes away. Oh man, you guys, I don't know if you saw this, but I posted on my stories today that Tom's channel is going absolutely bonkers. And it's just so crazy. Tom is super dedicated to his channel, and I think he does a pretty good job of stopping and kind of realizing what's happening. And this is the thing that he has now is the thing that he always wanted. He's pretty good about that, but he's also getting like 100, 200, 300 subscribers a day, and it's insane. I was showing some of his analytics, and he's like up to 15,000 views a day. So crazy. And I'm just so proud of him because he never stopped. He just has been so consistent since he found his rhythm, and it's so awesome to see. And I'm glad you guys are all enjoying the content. It means so much to him, and eventually I'd love for him to do all of this full time, just because I think it's a happy balance between income opportunities, his passion, really allowing him to create what only he can create. I think it's awesome. So let's see. Okay, Ron has a question. Do you find yourselves avoiding getting into long conversations about certain topics now because you want to save it for the show? Oh, totally. That's why I cut him off this morning, because I was like, we so rarely disagree on things that as soon as we do, I'm like, oh my God, we have to talk about it, because this is like, it's going to be boring if you guys just listen to us talk about, something that we both agree on, because then we're just saying, yeah. So we try, anytime there's any kind of, conflict, I guess it's not obviously not like crazy conflict or anything. I just, we have like a running document of ideas for the couples table. This is our 16th episode. So I think the 19th episode, we're gonna do a call-in show again. It'll be great to have some of you guys on the show. I think what we're gonna do this time is just drop the link in the comments so that anybody can join. And I'm kind of tempted to like have multiple of you guys join at the same time. So I don't know. We'll see. We want to do it differently than the first call-in show that we had. So if you have any ideas, let me know. I'm realizing that Tom is not recording the podcast version of this right now. So, oh well. I mean, he can start the podcast when he jumps on. Ron says, 2K more followers since last week. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. Social Blade predicts that he will hit 100K, I think, by a year from now. So next October. I really think it's going to happen before that. I would be surprised if he didn't hit 100 by summer. It's not about the numbers, but I mean, based on the data, it's, he's really hitting a rhythm, which is so cool. I am going to start uploading my own content on this channel starting next week. And I'm so excited. I've just been ducking my head and focusing on this new group coaching program that I enrolled in the summer. So, you can't have more than one priority. And it breaks my heart because I love making YouTube videos also. But I know that I just had to focus on making this thing happen. And then I can go back to YouTube because YouTube actually helps the thing that I'm building. So starting next week, I will be back also. And I told Tom this. I told him I aspire to be as consistent as he is. So he's just so good. He's so good about just sticking to it. Let's see. I might side Heather on this one. If Ron and me join together, it's going to be a mess. Oh, I love it. I think that'd be so cool. He can edit in the audio from your live stream. This is true. He can just rip the audio. Ron thinks spring. We should all take bets on when Tom's going to hit 100K. I mean, he's always so, I don't know, skeptical is the word, but yeah, he definitely doesn't think it's going to happen sooner than that. And I'm just like, it's not because of you. It's just the data speaks for itself, and it's, there's a little bit of an upward trend there. So let's see. Lyle, what a cool name. Wow, he's going fast. I've been around since 13K. Awesome. Cool. Derek, how are you doing today? I am doing pretty good. I had a little bit of a headache earlier, but here we are, doing pretty good. June. Yeah, I think spring too. That's the thing with YouTube, right? It's like a scale that tips, right? So I feel like the scale, like what we're seeing right now is a scale tipping, and then all of a sudden YouTube is gonna do its algorithmic thing, and then we're just gonna see a lot of growth. Tom is gonna hit by March 2021. Okay, to see if we're all gonna take bets right now. Let's see, Ron. He's so lucky to have you as a booster. I know his mindset is very similar to my own. It's so important to have a cheerleader who really believes in what you can do. Yeah, I mean, oh man, it's crazy how, I mean, I just recorded a mindset section for my online course. I think that's the make or break thing, because you so often it's the creator themselves who talks themselves out of continuing YouTube. And believe me, there were plenty of times where Tom just felt like nothing was working, but when it's during that time where you stay consistent when things aren't working, that pays off when it does start to work. So, but yeah, I mean, Tom is never going to be the one who's, of course I'm going to have 100,000 subscribers. Like, he doesn't even think it's possible still, so, but it's great because he just focuses on his values, his integrity, and he's just having a blast making videos. I mean, it's literally how he has fun. So thank goodness there's that balance. And, I think the reason why people kind of stop YouTube sometimes is because it's not fun, and you have to kind of force yourself to get into some kind of zone. Whereas Tom's tinkering with the cameras anyway. He's doing that anyway. So yeah. Hope he doesn't forget us on 100K. Ron, I think he's on the right track now though. So let's get your channel up there in numbers. It's already in a good place. Yeah, I can't tell you how excited I am about the content that I've been wanting to create, because of course, when I told myself like, you can't make YouTube videos, that's when all the ideas just came to me. So, oh my God, I have so many freaking ideas, and I'm so excited to show you what I got planned. I'm so excited. And then like my biggest motivation too is Tom and I love showing each other what we've created. I feel privileged that I get to be the first one to watch every single Tom Buck video before it even gets onto YouTube, to give him feedback and stuff. So I'm just so excited because I've been talking about these ideas for months, and I'm like, oh my god, babe, this is gonna be so cool. I can't wait to make a video about this. So I'm just so excited. It's been when was it? I guess September, October, like 2 months in the making of me just buckling down and finishing. James and Mark, hello, hi, what's up? So glad you're here. Hi. Creating is in your DNA. So James, if you missed the memo, Tom is still in a meeting, so it's just me today, and like I feel like I should have brought like games and props or something. And my best friend from New York is here also, but she's still working. Oh, there she is. Hey guys, this is Suyan.
Hi. I heard James and Mark's name, so I was like, screw work.
Oh, so she's here. Yeah, so this is Suyan. She's actually I don't know if you can, she's gonna join us on our stream.
Do my best.
Yeah. But let's see. Creating is in your DNA. Thank you. I scrolled up to get the deets. Hi. So Suyan, gosh, I've known Suyan since 2008. No. No, we graduated in 2008. Yeah, 2003.
2003, yeah.
So very, very long time. We used to be roommates after college, and then she moved to New York. And so she's here for the week, just hanging out and visiting. She's visiting a lot of places. I'm gonna turn this to face you too.
Oh, okay.
Can you guys hear her? Give the girl a seat. Here. Pull that chair.
Been sitting all day.
Suyan is in advertising. She is very, very adventurous. Go follow her on Instagram. Soy sauce.
Just true.
I don't know
my stories. I'm terrible about posting actual photos.
Why don't you tell them something? Tell them something about I don't know, us. So this is the couples table, where Tom and I just talk about anything that has to do with, well, what's our thing? Let me read you our mission statement. The Couples Table is a weekly live stream podcast show hosted by newlyweds Heather Ramirez and Tom Buck. Join us for better or worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and health, as long as we both shall live. So, I don't know. What do you have to say, Sian?
Well, I guess one, just so everyone on the show knows, I am actually recently single. I don't know. It's been a while. It's been since March. So it's been quite the journey for myself, going through the breakup and then literally having to survive COVID alone in my apartment by myself, calling friends, whoever. But what I thought was super interesting, because, I've been hanging out here for the week with Tom and Heather, and this is definitely like the most exposure I've had to them as a couple, like,
Aww.
20, not
well,
20.
I hope it's a good thing.
Yeah, like, like they're working or whatever when I'm working, but like when I do get to see them interact, I think what I mentioned to you yesterday was just like, I love observing how you two talk to each other, like the things that you guys say to each other, the way that you guys say it to each other is like always, like Heather, I'm sure you guys can tell from the show, like she's just so positive, such like excuse me. Was not ready to jump on.
Oh, sorry.
No worries. But it's like super positive and super supportive, and the things that she says to Tom, I was finding so inspirational, and I was just trying to like learn and observe, and the reason for that is because one of the things I'm terrible at is words of affirmation, which is one of the like 5 love languages, which I think my partner probably really needed from me, but I was terrible at. So it's like I'm I guess very conscious about trying to learn this from people who are good at it, and I don't think I get enough exposure to it because I don't really hang around a lot of couples. So that's been
Mm.
something this week I've just been kind of like unconsciously like picking up and just finding like, well, one, super cute and also educational.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Tom, I see you. Tom is here. Actually, I can add him to the stream, guys. I think he's out of his...
like, is he behind us?
There he is.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Your audio's off.
I don't have COVID. At least I don't
Not
think so.
though. My audio is on.
Have COVID.
Got tested.
We all got tested.
You
Well,
have
I
to-
didn't get tested,
you
but
have
Tom
to
got
unmute
tested. He
me.
was negative.
You
You're just not...
You have to unmute me.
I have to unmute you? Well, I
How did
heard you.
Yeah, how did you hear that? My audio is on.
I hear you now.
Okay. Great. Hello.
Oh, hi. Cool. Okay, so
I forgot you have headphones. I'm like, I can kind of hear him.
oh yeah, maybe I just didn't hear you. Okay, so Tom, I'm gonna pass it to you, and Cian and I are gonna jump into your room because it looks better.
Okay. I'm over here lonely.
Movie
now.
magic.
Okay,
Woo.
bye
Magic
guys.
reveal.
I'll see you in a minute.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
I don't know how this works, but great. Hello. I am here. Soon to be joined. I kind of like read a couple of the chat comments, so I feel sort of caught up. And Faith T is saying, how do you feel about the 5 love languages? I used to be with someone who swore by them to the point where they assumed so much. That I think is a good point. I'm doing a thing with my students right now where they're doing like personality tests. I'm making them go to 16personalities.com and like Heather and I did it on a live stream here. That's like where I got the idea. And one of the big things we have to cover is like, just because this says like what you are, it is a generalization. It's not like the rule, and it's okay to like you can, I don't know, you can be your own thing. This is just sort of a general guideline. And that's sort of how I look at it too. Cause like we were talking about it last night, and you know, like Suyun was like, well, these are the 5 languages. And I was like, oh, I like 3 of those. Like, you know, there we go. And yes, Tusif, I am mad about the gimbal reviews. Sorry, I'm coughing right here. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think I have a special guest. Round of applause. Oh wow, there's dogs. There's my wife. Look at this. Where should I sit? This is your seat. Okay, cool. Yes, I forget which mic is which. I think this one is your mic as usual. And I saw Ron's comment about me just splicing in the audio from the beginning.
You don't
of the
need
live
to
stream.
put that in.
Well, I hit
Am I
record on
on?
here. I can totally do that. Yes, you are
I'm
on.
on. Yeah, I mean, I was just talking. It's exclusive for the people who are on the video, you know.
Oh, well, we'll see. Either way, it's here. I was getting worried because I was like, oh my gosh, we have no podcast for this week. I know. I haven't coughed all day.
Okay, so this is what happened. Suyun bought these like dehydrated shiitake mushrooms. Where am I looking? Where's
this camera?
And they have, you know, they're like spiced, and it's getting like in the back of everyone's throat, except mine because
I have eaten like the whole bag.
They're from Costco.
They are
guys.
so
you guys
good.
Know what Costco is? It's like if you can go to Costco, go try them because these two swear by it.
I wasn't into it, and by like the 3rd handful, then I ate like half a bag yesterday, so that was pretty great.
Where do we put this?
Do you need it? Or I guess you need it to see still. You can just put it wherever, right there.
Okay.
I guess. I don't have a fancy arm. I try to do my best. There's like not room for 3 people in here.
I know, guys. Is this like a crazy angle?
It's fine. It's different. You know, we just have to like look there. Hello.
There she is.
There we go. Special guest entering. Yeah. Oh yeah. We're gonna get rich. Yeah.
It's like, these are the shiitake mushrooms, folks.
Oh, yeah.
The camera's up there.
Here.
Here, I can turn down the thing.
Oh, am I sitting here?
Yep.
Awesome.
I should have talked in the mic.
Got it.
There we are. There's the mushrooms mushroom.
Wow, this is cool.
So we should be able to hear you. We got your mic. I think all of us are good to go. I can finally test out my 3 mic setup. If you've been watching my videos,
Tom
I'm
was
so excited.
He was so excited when he can add a 3rd person to this setup.
Yeah.
Oh, should I close the door?
No, the door can stay open. It's fine.
Okay, so really quick, James says, "What's Suyun's favorite color? I like how the wires match each of you.
Oh, interesting.
Is it red?"
I don't have favorites. for many things, but I like reds. I like blues. I like
She's
I
a
like
colorful
teal.
person.
Yeah, I'm very colorful. I like anything that looks good on my body.
There you go. There you go. Awesome. All right. So
Gold, diamonds. Yeah.
yes, gold and diamonds look good. Should we jump into our disagreement?
Sure. I was wondering if you guys would like end up having a different discussion that would take us to a different place, but we can definitely jump in. And to answer your question, to see, Sian is using the Shure SM57 with the AWS81 windscreen on it because that was recommended to me, and it works great. And that mic's like 15 years old. I love it.
Okay, let's jump into this because I think it's cool. I think the three of us, based on what we do, are going to have a different perspective. Sian has no idea what we're going to talk about. So, okay, so I kind of premised. I gave you the premise a little bit earlier, but you can hear Tom talk about it.
Sure.
And then after Tom talks about it, you guys know Sian's in advertising. So I think just having her perspective on this is going to be really interesting. So Tom, why don't you talk about the whole thing?
So here's where I'm at, which is not a place that I have not been before. If you know me or you have followed me on anything, you know that I get a little bit annoyed when like a new product comes out and then my YouTube channel feed is just filled with reviews for that product. Not because people got it and reviewed it, but because the manufacturers send out the product to people in advance. They make their videos early, and then as soon as they announce it, you'll get like once I've gotten like 26 videos in a row of just the same thing. They're posted at the exact same time. And it just, I find that to be personally an ineffective way of advertising because I don't watch any of them then because I consider all of them sort of worthless. They're just commercials now that people have made, and I don't watch any of them, even though they're from channels that I love. And it just annoys me. That's a normal thing. Yesterday, DJI released a new gimbal. So like they're released a couple new gimbals, which are very, very cool. And, so if you want something to keep your camera nice and steady, and they released them at like 8 p.m. Pacific time or something, because suddenly it was like boop, 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 boop. Like my feed filled up.
Videos were coming out.
I was like, okay, fine. I usually watch one of them. I'll usually either watch Peter Lindgren because we're friends, or I'll watch Gerald Undone because he'll give me like all the technical info that I actually want to know about the thing. And everybody else I just don't watch, no matter how much I love them normally. But yesterday it popped up and it was all dudes, like strikingly mostly white dudes with beards in their 30s. Not unlike myself.
Exhibit A.
Right, which I am super conscious of. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm just subscribed to like that. So I spent like a lot of last night and even in today, then just doing like general searches on YouTube, like DJI Ronin RS2 or whatever it's called. I couldn't find any female channels that had uploaded gimbal reviews. And I was like, this is weird. Like there's no one here. Usually they'll throw in like iJustine as like the token female reviewer, which she's wonderful, but like she's also like has been around for 15 years, has like 7 million subscribers or something. I don't know that it's super relatable. And I was like, gosh, this is like kind of annoying. I just became hyper aware of this stuff, like basically through you, kind of pointing out, because I didn't even notice it. And I would go through like my thing and she'd be like, are you subscribed to like any girls? And I was like, not that many. And I didn't even notice because I'm just like, hey, this is interesting. That's interesting. And I didn't realize that. So I told Heather this and I was like, this is the thing that happened. She was like, yeah, that makes sense from a marketing perspective. Like gimbals aren't for girls.
I didn't say that.
That's basically what you said. That's basically what you said.
Yo.
You said it's not a chick product. It's not a product.
I didn't say that either. No, I didn't. No.
Okay.
No. Okay,
we
so
disagree.
Let me give my backstory.
Rewind.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously I'm passionate about empowering more female creators. Content creation is definitely just male dominated. There are industries like makeup and beauty and fashion that are going to be female dominated, but I think everyone can confidently say there's just more male creators compared to female creators. And I would love for that to be more balanced, because I think that, more female stories should be told, regardless of whatever the topic is. Okay, cool. This though, to me, is not a creator thing. It's not about female creators. It's a business who has a budget that is going to strategize on spending that budget on where they're going to get the most bang for their buck. And if you are, in charge of the social campaign or the YouTube analytics or the whatever, and you notice that most of the conversions are happening with males, you are going to spend your budget on males. Like, that's the target demographic. It's not that they're excluding females, but if you have a limited budget, you're going to spend it where you're going to get the most impact. And I would love for DJI to have a, like a community fund or some kind of like community based value as part of their company where they do support female creators. Like maybe they have like a female creator day where, they, I don't know, give them a bunch of stuff, maybe it's like females with smaller channels, whatever. But that's not the aim of that, is to show how community minded they are. The aim of that is not to sell more products. This is to sell more products.
Right. But I know a little bit about how DJI specifically works with creators and before, and like the kind of deals that they strike up with creators. They have a very big budget, enough so that I would say, why not throw 3 gimbals towards like some female creator channels? Sure, maybe it's not going to like generate conversions, but the part that just like bothers me is that I'm married. This doesn't bother me that I'm married to you, but it bothers me that after being married to you, you're I hope not. You're the one that like gave me the boost to start my channel. I've seen you inspire countless other people, and I've seen you kind of be in the situation where it's like the dude will get more screen time, the dude will get more attention. And so I'm just aware of that inequality. I also have taught high school. I've taught 2,000 high school kids over the last 10 years. Most of my high school students are females. Most of my like most active students over the years have been female students. And it sucks that when I go to like show something in class, or I want to use an example, that I have nobody that looks like them to showcase this thing. And when they're interested in it, when they use a gimbal in my class, in a normal time, and they're interested now, hey, what's a gimbal? How does it work? And they go to YouTube and they type in DJI gimbal, they're not going to see themselves represented.
So my thing is like, why is that DJI's responsibility?
What do you mean? Because they're the ones that giving out free gimbals.
I know, but like you're trying to say that there should be more female representation. Like it would be at a loss for them to do it.
Such a small
what do you
loss,
think, Sierra?
Well, I see both sides. Right? I mean, okay, so like I think I do side with Tom that obviously it would be nice to see more female representatives, but like from a marketing perspective, yes, it's true. Obviously, you have to hit numbers, you have to, hit goals. But I think it does have some responsibility. Some responsibility does fall onto the brand to make it a mission, to make it part of their goals, to at least consider, like if they're going through the list of influencers and content creators that they want to like reach out to, they could ask the questions, hey, did we consider any females? Hey, have we looked at the females?
Right. Like it's built into the process.
Right. Like build it into the process, build it into the plan, and then have a conversation. Does it make sense? Is this going to help us, hurt us? Can we make the risk? Can we sacrifice a couple gimbals? Like,
right.
I guess the question is, we don't know if that conversation's happening at all.
Well, because some of the channels, the male channels that got the gimbal weren't huge. They weren't million. They were even like almost my size of a channel, maybe a little bit bigger. And then of course there were ones that have hundreds of thousands or a couple million or whatever, but and sort of everything in between. But it's like, I know like Ron just said, but I, Justine, and Sarah DG Rhymes with Peachy are the only 2 big creators in this space that come to mind. They're definitely the biggest, but there are quite a few others that I've been like actively seeking out. There's a channel called Fellow Filmmaker, who her name is Heather, and she's like legit from the film industry, teaching you about all these techniques and things like that. Her channel has like 4,000 or 5,000 subscribers, but it's like goldmine content in terms of real world applicable stuff. she would for sure like have insight onto this thing. There's another one I can think of, Gabrielle Ruddick, who has like, I think about 1,000, but is literally like just giving her
Killing it.
entire photography degree, like everything she learned going to school for this stuff. She's just re-giving that out for free on her channel through like videos every week.
And like, let me be clear.
I know.
Because obviously if I were DJI, like I would make sure that it was totally balanced and even. I think it'll
never be a 50-50 split in that space, but
see, I would make it a 50-50
Okay.
because that's a value to me that I have. But I just think that I've just been disappointed in companies so much when you dangle money in their face. Like, of course, I feel like there's no consciousness anymore.
The reason that this hit me so specifically, because DJI, I have a lot of respect for DJI.
Because they typically are like a,
they're a product first company, where meaning like, and I mean that in a good way, where it's like they're not going to release a new thing every year just because they have to do the 2020
the
version.
new iPhone.
They'll wait until they have a new one to release. They'll release it, and every time you look at it, you're like, this is so much better because like it had R&D put into it based on like user feedback and real world things, and it's like genuinely an improvement. And they have proven themselves over the years to be very supportive of the online creator community. And that's why it's like you have such a good influential platform. And knowing like the cost of these products, knowing what they're paying a lot of the people who are, some people get paid to review it, some people don't, some people get both. You get a free gimbal, you get a paycheck, and you get to do the review. Some you just get the free product. But knowing that, I just feel like it's such small potatoes to take 2 or 3 and just send them out. And maybe they did, and the people flaked out and didn't make their videos or something. That's a thing that could have happened. Maybe they're doing it later and they're going to release their video in a week or something. But in that initial flood, there was not an equal like representation. And I just feel like the overall cost to at least bring some of that in was so low for a company that big that it's like, yeah, why not? Even if it was 0 return on it, like,
I don't know though, because like, okay, so say you chuck a gimbal at,
I wouldn't want to chuck a gimbal at anyone. They're very heavy.
So say like you gave a gimbal to a smaller female creator. Sure. Like you have to, as a marketing person, you would want to make sure that it would convert, and if someone's channel, I don't know. I don't know.
I think that's
because it's not just the the gimbal you give to them. It's the gimbal that they're gonna sell to their audience.
But I think it's also like it's hard. It's so hard, and maybe like Sun, from like having dealt with this more realistically. But like I think it's hard to nail down the concrete return on that investment because, like I said, it could.
Yeah, how do you guys measure that?
It could be though
very difficult.
Yeah,
in 6 months, like I said, because this happens all the time. I will introduce a new concept in class, piece of equipment, technique, whatever, and then kids on their own will be interested in it. They'll never tell me, but they'll go on YouTube and they'll type in like Canon EOS R, Rodecaster Pro, like whatever the tool is, whatever the product is, and then all the results come up. If you're a 17-year-old female high school student and you look up, oh, gimbals are kind of cool, and then you type in, okay, DJI gimbal, and you see dude, girl. I've seen you go through it. You immediately click on female, and you immediately click on Asian creators first too. So I think there's value. I think there's just that value, and DJI never knows. It could be in 6 months that suddenly like that does that, and now that female creator, maybe she's going to start something, and then this person and that person, and like you can't plan for that. They can never even nail that down specifically. Sorry to say like this was because of that, but it's out there, and I feel like the cost of entry to do that is so low.
You're like never gonna get sponsored by DJI now.
Well, you know what?
Okay,
that's fine.
I guess it's like twofold. It's right. It's make sales, get the thing out there, a lot of reach, get the influencers who have a ton of audience.
Mm-hmm.
But then it's also like, who is your audience?
Mm-hmm.
Who are you trying to talk to? Who are you
demo.
trying to sell to? Can you find influencers that, I guess, connect to that audience in a sense, right? So I guess the question too is then who in DJI's strategy world are they like targeting as their main audience for their product? And is female even on that? I mean, like,
See,
is that
that's what-
important? I don't
yeah.
know, right? Like,
That's what
I'm not as familiar.
I mean, I think that's where the representation is so skewed
Right, because more females would use it if they.
well, I think
maybe-
it's not even. I think it's just almost like the online, like the YouTube photo video niche is so male dominated. But like I was telling you, like I have a friend who's a wedding filmmaker. She was like the first one to buy the original. I think it was a giant gimbal from DJI. It looked like a big steering wheel that you took like half hour to set up. Was all over the Ronin S. Would really love like a better version of that. Just yesterday, I was watching one of Gerald Undun's studio tour videos where they do the exact same thing where like when you've done my studio tour where you're filming me walking, someone's filming him. I was like, I wonder who's filming him. And then like in reflections, I was like, oh, it's like his girlfriend or his wife or his partner or whatever. So this whole series of like a dozen videos that he has are all filmed by her using a gimbal. And it's like, they're never mentioning that, like, oh, check out, she's using the gimbal right here. But it's literally the thing that she has to travel with, use, set up, film with, work with.
Let's check in real quick.
Sorry.
Okay, Ron, I agree with Tom, if only because I'd love more variety in the camera gear channels out there, but also because DJI have the ability to shift the needle here. Tusif says, I understand why Tom feels that way, but I agree with Heather. Marketing only cares about profit. If they think making a statement for women empowerment is good for them, they will send gimbals to them. Ron, I'm not sure how much this could be down to DJ's culture, both corporate and country of origin. Also not sure if their American marketing team is reflecting that culture.
I don't even know if it's like a thing. I think literally they're just like, they're kind of casual with like approaching people like, hey, do you want to do this? And they could, what if they approached 10 female creators and they just said no? That could have been a thing that happened. We don't know. And like, I want to recognize that we don't know the behind the scenes.
Dennis, if DJI gave gimbals to super small channels that were still a narrow demographic, they had the opportunity to give a few gimbals to female creators who could do the review. Maybe they all have hostile Tom Buck style ethic statements.
Yeah, mine is very brand
His
unfriendly.
is so like, I don't want to work with you.
Yeah, it's like if you want to crawl through this broken glass to work with me, then we can figure it out.
Consider it. I won't say yes, but I'll listen.
And which actually I do want to point out, I added as of yesterday. Finley's honking to empower me this, but I put specifically like, I don't know, like I'm a white straight guy under 40. Like I have had challenges in my life, but I recognize there are privileges and advantages I've had that I'm not even aware of just because of a thing that I am not even in control of, because it's how I like fell out onto the earth.
Okay.
So I have just become very conscious of that. And I think that that's important. And so if you have any kind of platform at all, my YouTube channel has grown a lot and I'm excited about that. It's still very small in the grand scheme of things. So if we're talking about a company like DJI, which is very large in their space, I think if you have any kind of platform, maybe you should consider about how you're using it. So I added to my ethics statement, if I'm considering a partnership or sponsorship that involves other creators, I will ensure that I will only do so like if there's I forget how I worded it, but there's like only a diverse mix of races and genders and ethnicities involved, like a representative and diverse mix, because it can't just be white dudes with beards and plaid. Like it just can't be. And it's just, and I'm huge fans of a lot of those white dudes with beards and plaid, but I'm one of them. But it just can't be all that. And then the one Asian guy. Hi, Sydney.
Dennis, by narrowing the demographic of who their reviewers are, they risk reducing the demographic of who their customers are. They play into the cycle of reducing the business they get, in my opinion.
See, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, guys only buy it because guys see guys with it.
It's tough to quantify. Tom must have sold a ton of Rodecaster Pros, but when he did those initial videos, it was a relatively small channel. That content is evergreen, though. It's still selling. Mm-hmm. So if they get behind a promising female creator who can speak to an audience they aren't normally reaching, that could pay off big overtime.
Right.
Pay off big overtime. Yes. James says, Mark just came home and says hi to see you.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Tusif says maybe they searched YouTube for Ronin S reviews and picked the first 20 creators.
Maybe they're just like, or the most popular ones, and just approach those people.
Aaron says you need to grow a beard.
Thicker one.
It's getting there.
So anyway, here we are.
It's not a disagree. I guess it is sort of a disagreement, but I told Heather this because you guys were out at dinner last night, and I was home, and that's when this happened. And I was like, I know when I bring this up to her, she's gonna be like, yeah, that's like they should do this. And she was like, well, no, I understand where they're coming from. And I was like,
Yeah,
what?
I just think that when it comes to companies, it's not, I wish there really was like a consciousness, right? Like whether it's the CEO or a team that's like making sure that these values trickle through every aspect of the company. But I just know that so many companies today are just data driven and they don't even care. Like they don't even care. They're not even looking at anything. They're just looking at the numbers that's going to give them the most things. And I wish, DJ.
I don't think there's malicious intent.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not malicious. Exactly. It's just like, well, duh, if you're going to spend this much, you want this much to come back.
Yeah.
Like, right?
Finley agrees.
So anyway.
Well, I mean, I also think that like, it can feel crummy to be the token person. Like the TV show Community, I think there was an episode where they were looking at their school's pamphlets and they found like the same black guy was in every photo because they just like,
it's like Token
from
South Park.
Literally, yes. Or like we were watching The Social Dilemma last week where they were like trying to make the family so diverse that the white mom and black dad had a white kid and an Asian daughter. It was just so like, bizarre. I know adoption and fostering is a thing, but like this is now distracting from the point of I'm so confused about this family unit that I can't focus on the point of the movie now. So like sometimes I know that companies can go overboard and try to like, wow, every gathering has one of every ethnicity in it. Like that's not what I'm saying. And here's an amazing creator that's like incredible, but we're not going to include you because you are a dude in your 30s wearing plaid, even though you're terrific, because we need this. We need to just.
I mean, I think there's so many. I think the problem that I see is that there's just not enough. I don't know if turnover is the word, but there's just the go-to people who are in the established industries. And like, it'd be great if, if there was more encouragement to break through for the newbies in every industry,
right?
Regardless of, just like starting YouTube, or starting Instagram, starting anything. It seems impossible to turn it into a thing, because the sponsorships and all of that are going to the legend,
tried and true.
Yeah.
Which also like they're tried and true probably because they've proven themselves not only to get results, but probably to be easy to work with, to be reliable, to be trustworthy.
Yeah. And then like the ones that do, like the newbies that do break through are because they went viral, like the damn cranberry guy. Like, the cranberry juice.
The greatest influencer of all.
Oh, come on.
Girl.
I gotta show it to you. It's really funny. But yeah. Ron wants to know what Suyun thinks.
Oh.
What do you think?
I mean, I'm the person who sees both sides per usual. We had a whole conversation about this where I always look at the flip side. But I mean, it's like Heather. I guess I align with Heather in the sense of like, I understand what probably happened.
Like where the companies are.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, like what probably actually, came to fruition. But of course, I think it would be awesome to promote and encourage more female creators. And I don't really understand, how, like, I don't really watch videos on tech and like devices and all of that. So I don't know how many female creators are out there.
There's like one.
Yeah. And
there's like two.
So I think, and I don't know how, how difficult it is for them to break into that, like field or that industry to talk about that stuff. So like, I think one encouraging females to get into tech and to get interested in tech. And then, I'm sure they're probably interested already in creating videos or like becoming a content creator. But the problem is how many women are actually interested in talking about the topic of tech, right? To then be a content creator of tech. And, and then, so it's like twofold, right? It's like, we need more content creators who are female, who are interested in doing this, and then we need brands to want to work with females, support or that, promote that, and like, what's the word? Market towards females, or, in a sense, they're also, helping women be more interested in tech.
Right.
I don't know if that was Sorry, that was like so roundabout, but
No, I got it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Because I understand. I see both sides. I understand. That's why I want to point out, like, DJI is not being like, they're not excluding anybody.
Michael says it's often just about money. If doing the right thing drive sales, brands jump on, but then the same companies might get cheap, unethical labor again because of money. When the size of the company is big, they usually tend to lose contact with customers beyond numbers. In a macro level, they don't have faces, just the numbers. See, that's what I think. It's like they're not like, oh.
It could just be we sent out this many gimbals.
I think it's
the return
different
was this
team.
many views total.
Well, and to your point, you know, you guys also have to think about that a marketing budget isn't just focused on the influencer portion of it, right? Like there's the commercials, there's the radio pieces, there's the print ads that go out. So this is really just like such a small piece of the larger bucket and the larger strategy. And so, you know, that's another piece of it, right? Or maybe again,
maybe there is an influencer budget that's like more, I don't know, female incorporated.
Or the way that they target out their TV commercials, maybe they're thinking is somehow reaching more females in that sense, and like where females are looking for content or something.
I'm going to the DJI website for this because I want to see. I want to see what they're. I just want to see. Wow, it's a dude filming a dude. Is the cover?
There's diversity though. He looks Asian.
I think there's an Asian guy playing the drums, and then there's a white dude with a beard using the gimbal. And there's lots of product shots, which that's fine. Those are neutral.
Oh, so
that looks like a male hand.
That could be a female hand.
Maybe it's supposed to be like you pick.
Oh, there's a girl playing the piano.
Is that a girl playing the piano? I can't see.
I think that's a girl playing the piano.
So there's like one girl in the web.
Oh no, it's a guy. Never mind. We're scrolling down. Yeah, there is not a woman on this product page on their website, which is also a beautifully designed page with tons of images.
And that just, I don't know. It's like, it's so,
I'll post
like, obviously they put a lot of thought into this, and I just think that I don't. They're a brilliant company. Chicken or the egg, you know, like are females using gimbals?
Yeah. Yes, that I definitively yes, because there are so many female videographers, filmmakers, content creators, and the gimbal is just like, are females using tripods? Like, yeah, not everybody, but yeah, it's a very common thing. I think there is the part of it too, where like a lot of people, like I mentioned my friend Laura, who has a wedding film business. Like she is all over gimbals, all over equipment. Sony gear.
Yeah, like you also have to have someone who has a YouTube channel that's talking about tech.
Yeah, she's gonna be interested in that stuff for herself, but you're never gonna hear about it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Her clients are going to see the results of it. She's gonna see the benefits of upgrading. But
okay, really quick. Ron,
I know what a gimbal is. I don't use one.
Is it advertising's job to serve capitalism, or is it a responsibility for social good?
I mean,
or is that too big a question?
I think that's going to be a very opinionated thing. I'm a big believer of when you have a platform that's big enough, when you have an influence that's great enough, you are obligated. Well,
that's how you're building your company from the ground up,
which
right
is
now,
why I'm building it
great.
that way. But I can't control other people and make them build theirs that way.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, Facebook is terrible, and
I think social media departments should be the link between numbers and the actual person with a face. I think social media is even more just like they don't put the face. Like, I think they just look at like, oh, what time did this demographic click on this thing or whatever? I don't know.
I'm trying to look up something. I'm very curious. So check this out. I looked up the DJI Osmo Mobile 4, which is their small stabilizer for smartphones. The first thing was literally a girl filming her kids.
And so I think that's where, I mean, that's the gimbal that I know about, is like the handheld.
The one that sticks to your phone.
Yeah, that can carry your phone, or a GoPro.
It's mostly women filming their kids. There's also a hip hop dance party at the top, but it's a girl filming her dog. So this is mostly women on this. She's filming her golden retriever.
That's a completely different vibe on this page.
Mm-hmm.
It's
look,
also
even the picture on the bottom.
This one?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's also like there's literally flowers on a table next to the thing. The background is white. The other background was black. They were filming a car.
I actually think my favorite influencer just had a story all about her new gimbal. And she's using
I didn't even think of looking at the different products they have. So that's a very consumer one. If you go to their pro thing, it's all drones. I guarantee if I click on like the Inspire 2, one of their big old drones, it's filming a race car. There's not even humans on this page. Oh, it's dudes. It's all dudes. Actually, they're in the Coachella Valley very clearly. It's all dudes.
I can't believe you can spot the desert.
It's the mountains. The mountains.
Oh.
There's only 3 people and it's just 3 dudes.
Okay. The DJI Osmo 4 page has lots of women on it, but then it's clearly, or the Osmo Mobile 4 has lots of women on it, but it's clear they have a different perception of who that market is. Yeah.
Because it's also like that's a thing to use with your phone.
Light,
Yeah. Yes.
Lighter,
use it
purse
for your
friendly, giant
social
purse
media.
friendly, I guess.
Giant purse friendly.
James says, with Sion here, we should definitely play Who Knows Heather Best, the husband or the best friend.
It depends on what era of Heather, probably.
I know.
What happened in Madrid? Just kidding.
It did happen.
She didn't even remember.
I know. I literally
We had
was-
to
I
play
forgot.
recap.
I guess it's very important to make sure equal opportunity and exposure is out there for everyone, and then organically let it grow in whatever demographic it goes.
I think that's like, yeah, you throw the seeds all out there and see where they sprout up.
Yeah.
But it ain't gonna sprout if there ain't no seed.
Well,
Or
you
water.
I don't
gotta.
have a knowledge
dirt.
mic drop button. but- Oops, I pushed the wrong button.
All right, guys. So I think we talked that point
Yeah.
to done.
Yes, we beat that horse.
Yes. So what should we do now, Tom?
I don't know. I mean, I've been on Zoom for 10 hours now. So.
Well, I don't know. What do you guys want to do?
I mean, do you want to answer that? Love
I feel like we
languages
should take
question?
advantage.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Okay. What were you gonna say?
We should take advantage of the fact that we have a special guest.
Yeah, I know we should.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like what we should do. Okay, so we're gonna segue, guys. Segue a little bit.
I don't have a transition sound.
I don't know where it went.
That was before we came over.
We were talking about love. Oh, here we go. Faith T. How do you feel about 5 love languages? I used to be with someone who swore by them to the point, but they assume so much about me. I don't know what they are, so I'm kind of familiar.
5 love.
Well,
Everyone wants
well,
to know
yeah.
who the special guest is.
Discover your love
Oh.
language.
Would you
Hi.
like to introduce yourself?
I'm Soo Yun. I'm actually a native Californian.
I like that.
From LA. Went to school with Heather. That's how we met. We met basically like the first couple weeks of college, and then lived together in Torrance for a couple years before I eventually moved off to New York. And I've been in New York for like 7 years now. And every year I'll like come back and visit Heather and stuff. And actually, thanks to COVID, I am now a nomad. I've given up my apartment in New York. And I'm
She's
just kind of
working
like
remote.
yeah, I'm doing the whole work remote thing. I just came through Utah, Las Vegas, and now I've landed here for the week before I head off to my parents' place.
Oh, fun fact, guys. So Sion would have been here
Oh, yeah,
either
right
way
now.
because Tom and I were supposed to get married this weekend, which
That's
is so
right.
crazy.
Yep. So I guess, had COVID not been here, we'd be doing our nails.
Well, I don't know.
It'd be a
What would
very
we doing?
different
No,
time.
We'd be doing some
Yeah.
sort of bachelorette thing
Yeah.
before the big day.
Very
But we did
different.
have a very nice dinner yesterday at their
At the
like
venue.
at the venue that they to have the ceremony, and it was
Yeah.
very, very nice. We had perfect weather and it was great food.
That's great.
It was very lovely. We missed you, Tom.
Ron wants to know if there's any fun activities planned for the rest of your visit.
Oh, yes. So tomorrow, which is Friday, I have taken the day off from work.
Mm, I
Woo-hoo-hoo.
didn't know that.
Yeah, I have the day off. And we are going to go really early up to, I don't even know, some sort of mountain. We're going to take a tram. We're going to go to the top of the mountain. We're going to do some hiking around, hanging out. Heather and I also talked about potentially looking for a psychic to do a psychic reading.
Oh, yeah, we
this
did.
is
Really
news to
fun.
me.
Yeah, so I'm like really like into the whole, I mean, I don't like understand it fully, but I like get really like into crystals and readings and
She's
tarot
into
cards.
She's into it, guys.
Yeah, I'm into it. I thought about bringing my tarot cards with me, but I decided to leave that home because I already have way too much stuff with me as a
Hold
traveler.
up, the tarot cards.
Yeah. So heavy.
So heavy. Leaving that behind, but bringing all the heavy stuff.
Yeah, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm curious. We're just gonna see.
Yeah. And
We're gonna
then
see.
I think we got some other friends in town, Mark and James.
Maybe we see
So
you.
hopefully,
guys.
yeah, I think obviously, hopefully hit you guys up.
Well, why don't you talk about what it's been like because of COVID?
Oh,
Well, because first of
Yeah.
all, you were in New York,
right.
and I think out of everybody, you got hit the hardest in the U.S.
Earliest. Yeah.
Well, at least the earliest for sure.
Yeah.
And then
I'm-
like moving this way.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like COVID in New York was strange. Like you know, it's such a busy city. You see people on the streets every day,
Every hour,
night and day. And to then see scenes of New York City like almost empty, to watch your friends' stories where they're biking through New York City without any cars, like, you know, careening into them was like insane. So like it was, you know, it was a bit of an eerie feeling, but I think, you know, being just stuck in your apartment all day long, not really going into the city. I guess I personally, you know, got used to it pretty quickly. I was able to find ways of entertaining myself. You know, I'm actually okay. I'm a very social person, but I actually did quite well in COVID. You know, I picked up virtual cooking classes. I was doing.
she was like
I was doing so much
dance
stuff.
parties.
You know, somehow I was like super busy, and like I couldn't understand why I was so busy. And I was like, I'm not going anywhere yet. My schedule is jam packed.
So funny.
Yeah, like to Heather's point, I was doing like virtual dance parties. There was a Burning Man themed birthday where I took advantage and I pulled out my old Burning Man costumes. I put on a wig. It was like the first time I wore makeup during COVID, and
You guys need to check her out on Instagram.
really cool.
I'm just gonna leave it here.
And it was really cool. That was the first time I learned that Zoom could have the spotlight feature. So they like basically spotlighted different people's living rooms during the party. So I could see like my friends dancing in their living rooms, and then they would spotlight me dancing alone in my living room. You know, it was pretty cool. And I really enjoyed, you know, having the opportunity and the time to like connect with people that I mean, I think a lot of people, you know, felt the same, like having that time to connect with folks that you haven't talked to in a really long time, pushing yourself to jump on these Zoom calls, making time to talk to folks. And then I found that people were just so creative. Like,
yeah. Oh, that makes me so happy.
Like, yeah, like one, picking up hobbies, right? People like started picking up their hobbies. What did I pick up? I tried to learn how to read my tarot cards better. That only lasted a few days. But yeah, like they're just like all the like video games and like games that came out and activities that I never really knew about that people just started getting into. I thought that was really, really cool. But sorry, to fast forward, aside from that, I think the whole giving up your apartment thing was really just like everybody was doing it. And I was like, my lease was coming up, and I'm like, you know what? Why not? Me too.
So you don't have to go back until
TBD. So we know my company has decided to, you know, have everyone work from home at least until the end of the year. So I know that at least until December 31st, I do not need to be in New York. So myself and quite a few coworkers have either moved home. Some have even flown all the way to Korea, and they're doing, you know, time in Korea. And you know, so that was just like, I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it.
Well, that leads us right in here, because James and Mark asked, what does it feel like living that nomad life?
Oh, you know, it's fun. I'm like, guys, I'm not as good with words as these guys are. It's great. I mean, it's challenging, right? Like, one, there's just so much planning that you have to do, or at least that I've found. Obviously, this is the first time I'm doing it, but there was just so much planning that I had to do leading up to my flight out of out of New York.
And plus everything's harder because of COVID.
Oh my God, so much harder. Like half of my luggage was PPE that I probably didn't need to like carry so much of it, but like, you know, I was really scared. And you know, rightly so, like having all your wipes and everything with you. So,
right.
you know, like, and also the whole like packing up your apartment, putting it in storage. You know, I was lucky enough that my brother let me put all my stuff in his apartment. But like having to like plan for that and then plan for like how much to bring with you, knowing that you're not, it's not like a set period of time.
Like
it's
you
like
don't know how long you're gonna be gone.
It's not my 2-week vacations where I'm like, okay, I can fit it all in a carry-on and then I'll be back. But I'm planning for multiple seasons. I'm planning for like multiple weather conditions. Like I went from like desert Utah and then I'm going to head to like California. I guess it's still all relatively desert. And then, you know, and then I packed a lot of bikinis for Hawaii. But then when I come back, it's going to be like Christmas time, December. And I realized I don't have a jacket. But yeah, but I think it's been really fun in the sense that it's challenged me to start being okay with the decisions that I've been making. Because one, I'm a super indecisive person, and I'll make a decision, I'll book an Airbnb, let's say, and then my brain will just go crazy about did I spend too much? Is this the right thing? Yeah.
Should I chose the other one?
Exactly. And then I start looking for other options and checking like what's my final, you know, cancellation date to like make a final decision. But when I got to Utah, for example, like I loved every single Airbnb. I loved every single choice I had made. And like, I just have to like, I need to personally take that and remember that things will always work out. And if they don't, roll with the punches. But like, so far, you know, I'm 35 and I don't know, my decisions have all been pretty good. And
yeah, dude,
like I've been pretty lucky, knock on wood. But like, I personally need to like use this time to like really start internalizing that, because I know, you know, with 35 years of experience, like I haven't been doing that for myself. And so I'm trying to take this time to really like grow.
So you're learning and
growing. And, you know, the one thing I am having a hard time doing is finding time though, to actually like sit and like be in my thoughts and actually,
because you're always like working or planning
right.
or like packing or
yeah. So like, I think that's where it's hard when you're moving so much, which is how I've planned my journey. Is like, I need to actually plan for time to just sit and
chill.
Be and chill. Yeah.
I love that time.
That's
the best time.
That's the time you love. Okay, let's check in. What I missed, Tom? Were you looking?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of conversation happening.
All right, go ahead. You take over.
Sure. So Ron said, virtual Burning Man set fire to her apartment. And he also said, COVID lockdown taught me I would thrive in prison.
Right? I would make friends with, I would probably become the boss. Like, and I'd be the boss, and I'd probably be like an organizer of all the different clubs and organizations and activities, you know?
100%. 100%.
Like, who wants to do sewing today?
Ron says they're going to probably enter another lockdown there. So he's making his new shiv. But then when Tusif was encouraging and saying his roommates are bored of hearing his thoughts and keep the shotgun closed and the windows open. But then they asked where to see and stay. Hotels, motels?
Camping?
Well, so in this last part of my journey through Utah, I basically hit up all of the big 5 national parks in Utah. I mostly picked Airbnbs because I was specifically looking for units that were like, you know, my own private space. Mm-hmm. I tried very specifically to look for units that weren't sharing like AC units or air, you know, from like an
zero
adjoining
contact
with
anybody else.
Exactly. Like, so I was like, you know, I want self check-in. I didn't want to deal with like lobby people, other hotel guests. I just wanted to be able to like go to my door, go to my car, avoid people, or like, you know, be like, you know, have my front door be out to the open, like exposed to the outdoor.
Outside,
yeah. So that's basically what I've been looking for during this part of my journey. But prior to like pre-COVID, I'm down for like hostels. I love camping. So it's really just what's my budget currently and what's even like what would be cool for that moment. So like I was actually just telling Heather, you know, when I went to Vietnam this past oh my gosh, like it was almost a year ago, last November, I came from like a really nice resort and then
in the Maldives.
yes, it was a very nice resort in the Maldives, and I flew to Vietnam, and this leg was, you know, totally solo. But like because it was solo, I was like, hey, you know, my priorities are location in the city, and I want to meet people, and I want to be like around people that I want to be in a situation where it'll be easy for me to like meet people, talk to people. And thanks to Heather, I've learned that hostels are really cool.
Was that me?
Yeah, you were. Yeah, when we went to Rome or like our Ibiza trip, like that was the first time I've ever.
Oh, I had no idea.
She's no longer hostile towards hostels.
Yeah. So I think it just depends on like where you are, what's safe. That's another big thing is safety.
Any plans on dressing up for Halloween?
Oof, I am dressing up as a flight passenger to Hawaii.
Oh,
Nice.
it's very
Yeah.
elaborate.
Yes, I'll have some bags and a lot of warm clothes for the
Faith
flight.
T says, I'm over here stuck in my house all year because of COVID. Maybe I should have been doing this.
I know I've seen like there's a few people I know who are teachers and they're like, yeah, I'm doing my Zoom classes, but we're going camping and we're doing whatever. And even some teachers from like my school, they'll be at a staff meeting and they're like, oh, I'm in Seattle right now. And I'm like, I guess there's no reason that I had to teach like from home, but I just sort of was like, yeah, I'm going to teach from home. But
Oh my God, this is so funny. So Tusif has always heard the phrase knocking on wood, but had no idea what it meant.
Oh.
Tusif's from Pakistan.
Oh.
But I think Ron explained it.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
What did
Okay.
Ron
I was like,
say?
oh, how do I explain that? That's actually a really good.
oh, it's just
Question.
do something to not jinx.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the jinxing thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I have no idea where I'm looking. I keep looking there.
I know.
know.
I'm really sorry.
Okay.
We did the best we could.
I love the Maldives because of all the Insta pics. Never visited myself yet. Go check out Suyeon's Insta pics because they're the best. It was really cool to watch her stories on that.
Yeah. Well, I
Live
will say, guys, for everyone who's listening, because of COVID, there are so many deals out there right now. Like hotels are dying for business. And like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys are getting the ads on your Facebooks or whatever, but like so many of the Maldives resorts are giving away like 5-night deals for
Wow.
like super cheap. Like, I mean, it's cheap for the Maldives. Like,
Yeah.
and obviously you'll still have to buy your flights and all of that. But like, there are so many package deals now. And I'll make a plug for my friend, Sarah Lee, if you guys are interested in like going on like if you guys are interested in like luxury travel, like she's an amazing like travel agent. She does luxury travel at one TRAVL. I'll type it in later.
Nobody
One
does it like
travel
Sarah
Lee.
Lee.
but I would definitely look for deals right now because it's like such a
So
good time.
you feel safe to travel, obviously.
So that's a good question. I was actually
You're wildly proactive with safety
Yeah.
measures.
Suyeon is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
really safe.
yeah. So I think, one, I totally recognize
You
that,
were like that pre-COVID.
right.
So
Safety Suyeon was like another nickname of mine. But yeah, I think I feel safe because one, I'm traveling alone. And so in this sense, I am responsible only for myself.
For
at
where
this
you
moment.
go,
Yeah,
yeah.
and where I go. And then what I worry the most is then who I'm going to go visit, and am I going to go see people, and what precautions do I need to take to protect them, right? Because I do not want to be bringing anything to their home and to their families, and so that's something I've been super careful about. And one of the reasons why I was super careful in Utah was because I was going to visit a friend who's pregnant, and like, oh my gosh, like
Yeah.
I could not have that on my conscience, right? But I think like if you are careful and like just being very conscious. I know it's very hard to like draw the line of like what's safe, what's enough.
but you're not going to like events with all these people.
No,
Like,
no.
you're doing like outdoor activities where it's pretty
Hiking.
much solo.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Seeking distance.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So, like, yeah, mostly doing like outdoor stuff. I mean, that's part of the reason why I chose the Big Island was because there's so much outdoor stuff that I'm hoping to be able to do. Like after work, I'll go do a hike or I'll hit up a beach or something.
Yeah.
But I totally understand too that I need to be paying attention to, you know, the rules that the state has been like enforcing, because, you know, I don't want to like, you know, make things flare because I'm being irresponsible, etc. So, you know, I think that's what's really cool about right now. Like so many people are going to these national parks, you know, it's outdoors and hopefully like, you know, with the open air space that's like relatively safe, but then, you know, being careful when I go to the bathrooms or when I
Yeah.
take the shuttle buses and, you know, when I have to talk to a worker or if I go into their gift shop to buy something. So, you know, there are times when we still need to be careful.
Yeah.
But, you know, I guess personally, I don't want this to like stop my life. I'm like, I guess I'm trying to learn.
You're adapting.
Yeah, like I'm trying to learn how to live in it, but be responsible still. You know, like I guess live responsibly in the time of COVID, but
Sure.
still adventure and, you know,
Still you.
yeah, still be me.
Right.
And yeah, and I'm, you know, super grateful for the opportunity to go and be on the road.
Wow. Philip Bridges says some airlines are doing unlimited flights per month. I think Air
Oh,
Canada is one of
gosh.
them.
Unlimited flights.
That sounds amazing.
Wait, what is that? How does that work?
You just
I'll have to look it
all
up.
day, every day, you're just in there.
I've had good and bad hostel experiences. Last year, I found myself sharing a room with 4 very confused French girls. I was scared that they were scared, mostly because I'm 41 and they're about 22. Oh my God.
I feel like you
so
reacted
funny.
the same way I would react in that situation. Just wild discomfort and anxiety.
Yeah, so I think that's where I would probably draw the line, at least with hostels. Like when I do shared rooms, it would be with female only. Yeah, like just for safety, you know, like I'm sure the dudes are cool, but I'll see you in the lounge.
I was a couple of years ago, I was going on a conference for work and it was like multiple overnights and they were like doing the rooming things. And the previous group that had gone, the like administrator that booked like teachers rooming together for like 5 nights. And I was like, I need my time. I need my
very much, you know, privacy.
Yes. And I remember I asked him,
none of this bunking stuff.
I asked the administrator, I was like, are we sharing rooms or solo thing? I was like, I'm more than willing to pay extra to just have my own room. And he just looked at me without even seeing a beat. He's like, we're not in college. We're all getting our own rooms. And I was like, oh, thank you.
I mean, yeah, it would
I'm
be
just not built that way at all.
I think it would be irresponsible and dangerous for a company to be putting on business time and dime.
Yeah, this is also not recreation.
Putting folks together in a room.
And educational.
Ron said he couldn't sleep, so he left at 5:30 in the morning and slept in his car.
Yeah, that's what I would have done.
Oh, good thing you had a car. That's good. Somewhere to go.
That's it. We're all caught up. Well, thanks, Yuan.
Yeah.
That was very insightful.
Oh, thanks.
When are we going to go on a trip, babe?
I don't know.
To New York.
Yes, I want to go to New York very badly because it's like one of my favorite places ever. I also want to go to Sweden. I also want to go to Japan. I want. There's a lot in the world, a lot of places I want to go.
Sweden moved above Japan. Jeez, Peter.
Well, because we have like standing accommodations there, so that's
that's pretty legit.
That's nice.
Tusif said, smart decision, Suyan. Don't share a room with dudes, even if they're cool. You have every right to feel safe.
Yep.
James and Mark have never been
Really?
to New York.
Hello, group trip. When I'm back.
You would love it there, I feel
Well,
like.
I mean, literally
so much
James's
food.
first flight. I think I was there. He went to Vegas. That was like his first
From
flight
Southern
ever.
California.
Ever.
From like LA.
Yeah.
But since then.
Yeah, you guys, they went to Japan.
Yeah,
on
oh,
honeymoon
yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
But that's crazy. You love New York.
Oh, Mark was born there.
Oh.
Oh, no, wait, hold on. Japan is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And Mark was born there.
In Japan.
There's no way Mark was born in Japan.
No?
I think he meant New York.
I had no idea. Where was Mark born? We need to figure this out. Ron has never been to New York either. The only place I've been in America is Chicago.
You were born in Chicago.
Also a good city.
You forgot.
Okay, so Air Canada charges $2.2K monthly for the Infinite Canada flight pass. So you'd have to you need to milk it out.
I mean,
You gotta be baller too.
it depends. You could get your money's worth though. Depends on where they fly, I guess.
Yeah, depending on the destination.
Yeah,
it's just Montreal and Toronto back and forth.
Every day. Okay, Mark was born in New York.
Oh, got it.
I didn't know that.
Wait, I was born in Chicago. Yes. James, how do you not know this?
Who knows Heather better?
That's where your parents like immigrated to, right? When they
Yeah.
came to America, they lived
And
in
then it was
Chicago
like,
for like a
it's
while.
too freaking cold. We're going to
And
the
moved
coast.
to LA.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that sounds familiar now. Yeah. Okay.
But I forget.
You were like,
I haven't been back since.
you miss it.
Anyway, okay. Well, this is fun. I think we can wrap it up.
Cool, because I'm starving.
Okay, cool. What are
Ooh.
we having for dinner?
Food time. Ooh, I don't know.
He said food time, and Ben dropped his
I
hand.
know because that's his.
You guys have any suggestions? What's good out here?
What
Well, we have
should
these
we eat?
shiitake mushrooms.
I've been eating
It
so
all
many of
comes
those.
back.
This bag is very empty now.
Time to whip out a new bag.
All right. So if you guys have any suggestions for our next episode, let us know. Mark your calendars for our 19th episode because we
Ooh.
are going to do a call-in show. And I think we're going to do it. So we're just going to drop the link in the comments. Anybody who's there can join.
We'll
And I
just
think we'll have
bring you
multiple
in.
people on because Steve and Ron really want to be on at the same time. So it'll be fun.
Cool.
Ron said, "Nice to meet you."
Nice to meet you guys. This was really fun. And thanks for having
Steve
me.
told me to
Yeah.
have steak,
Oh, we just had really good steak yesterday.
It was good. Yes.
Steak and salmon.
and Ron is hungry. So we're all hungry at different times in the world.
Yeah. There's a lot of people who aren't in like California.
Oh, cool.
Most of the people
Yeah.
watching are not,
are not
local.
Awesome.
like in the US even.
Well, I don't even know what time zone I'm in. Like, I'm working in New York hours, but I'm living in LA hours. But then,
And it
Yeah.
changes constantly.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll take it easy. Thanks for hanging out. We will catch you.
Oh, it's time to clear the table.
Bye.